The National Council of Churches of Kenya General Secretary Reverend Canon Peter Karanja says his utterances on Deputy President William Ruto's chances at the presidency were not taken in full context. Karanja says his statements were only part of deliberations and not an official statement by the NCCK at its Meru regional conference. Rita Tinina reports on the day the Reverend Canon turned political analyst and is about to turn on the 2022 succession politics. Listening. The NCCK gathering in Meru was the 10th regional conference held in the last 2 months in the build-up to the NCCK Triannual General Assembly. But the Meru conference has since stood out if the General Secretary, Reverend Canon Peter Karanja's address is anything to go by.
There are a few dangers on the way, because the handshake appears to completely stand in the way of Ruto. So if you love Ruto that much, reinterpret the handshake and explore keenly what are its total ramifications.
The General Secretary delved into politics in what he now says was mere scenario building on the social, political and economic realities in the country. Scenario building that explored Deputy President William Ruto's 2022 game plan.
If Raila is re-engineering himself through the handshake, and it is very likely, he is likely through it to cause major havoc on Ruto's design and scheme.
And there was another Ruto scenario.
But another Jogo has emerged in the Rift Valley called Gideon. The Moi network amongst the Kalenjins of a century, half a century. What change is it likely to create in Kalenjin land so that Ruto's block of votes might actually reduce? And if his vote is dwindled significantly in the Rift Valley, will you really be able to put him in State House?
12 days later,
the manner they have been used, it is misleading.
Reverend Canon Karanja will not deny playing political analyst at the conference, but to him, it is about deliberations versus an official statement.
They are not the official position of the council and only constitute some of the raw materials used to arrive at the official statement issued at the end of the conference.
But the 1,513-word official statement had nothing to do with succession politics, focusing on 7 areas, among them devolution, corruption, resolving the IEBC crisis, reconsidering the national budget, to recalling contaminated and poisonous sugar.
I really don't have a personal stand on the 2022 elections because they are 4 years away.
Never mind, he is analyzing Ruto's chances at the presidency 4 years away.
Thank you very much.
Rita Tinina, KTN News. So, the Jubilee Party has denied reports of convening a parliamentary group meeting to seal emerging cracks in the party, denying knowledge of any wrangles in the party. But just what is brewing between Deputy President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga? And are Ruto's allies worried that Odinga may be secretly scheming to dim Ruto's 2022 presidential ambitions with anti-Ruto forces within Jubilee? Our political affairs reporter, Murimi Mwangi, interrogates this.
He has danced to political drums for decades, successfully sidestepping all pitfalls to political oblivion, despite being in the opposition for most of his political life. And on the other side, a shrewd political tactician, only a stone throw away from the country's top seat. The two faces seemingly shaping the country's political discourse post the acrimonious 2017 polls, Deputy President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga.
Kenya's problem as of today is William Ruto. He's Kenya's problem, number one. And that is something we must tell him, that if they want a fight, we will give them a pretty good fight this time round.
The reality is that we are prepared for Raila Odinga's candidature. We think that, and we believe that competition is a good thing, that the handshake was fantastic.
But the said March 9th handshake, which crystallized Odinga's ceasefire with Ruto's boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, it appears is slowly becoming Ruto's greatest headache. On Monday, the Jubilee Party discredited reports of an allegedly planned Tuesday parliamentary group meeting, during which insiders say key Ruto allied legislators were scheming to take on President Kenyatta for full disclosure of his deal with Odinga. But should Ruto be worried about Odinga?
When a family is just about to break, they'll always have excuses of, neighbors, in-laws are coming in between us. So we are seeing an example of a family that is on a rock.
Miaka yangu haiwezi niruhusu niongee vitu baya za Raila Odinga. But I also want to caution that kama yeye ako, if there is any agenda to come to Jubilee to do what he has done to so many other parties before, I don't think there is a chance.
Odinga continues on a diplomatic charm offensive, his latest trip being to India for bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, touching on issues such as health, maritime agreements, and trade at Lake Victoria between Kenya and her borders. But with the 2022 political drumbeat sounding even louder with every passing minute, the Odinga-Ruto friction, it appears, is headed to greater acrimony in the future. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.
60% of the tested samples of brown sugar that was seized by police during the ongoing crackdown on contraband goods is unfit for human consumption. Principal Secretary for Health Peter Karanja says the ministry has instructed various counties where the sweetener was seized to keep the contaminated sugar under lock pending destruction. The Kenya Revenue Authority says the government lost 34 billion shillings in revenue due to the duty-free window that allowed traders to flood the country with imported sugar. Great. So on that note,